Okay, this is my second video, and I'ma dub this video Country Boys Can't Survive. And what I'm talking about there is a country song by Hank Jr. that I actually like called Country Boys Can't Survive. And I'm break something down to y'all. See, when me and my brother, we was and my sister, we were raised in rural America, in the South, in Texas. The land that we stayed on was land that was left by my great grandfather, who purchased the land back in 1920. He purchased the land. Now they tried to take the land from all kind of shit, but my great granddad was that motherfucker that kept that Winchester shotgun in a Colt, a Navy Colt 45, Navy Colt 45 handgun that he used to walk around like he was fucking, like he was straight Western. My great granddad used to walk around with a motherfucker like a 10-gallon hat on, cowboy boots. He was country as real straight up black cowboy. And during that time in the racist South, he didn't give a damn about shooting some white person. He'll shoot their ass racist white motherfucker come in his lane, he'll blow their ass away. And he told a couple of them that when I used to talk to him and shit, he said, he said, I'm a man, I'm always ready to die. So we grew up with that kind of mentality, and so we moved to an urban environment. And being the people that we were, we was made fun of because we made fun of not only by the ELs or educated lames, but we was made fun of by the street niggas, the straight, hood niggas. We was actually made fun of because the way that we talk. So not only that, we had to, it was hard trying to fit in when you come from rural America, to an urban environment. It's kind of hard. So me and my brothers, we found ourselves fighting all the time. We found ourselves fighting, physically with hood niggas, and found ourselves verbally fighting with the ELs. So these people are never talked about. You always hear the ELs, educated lanes, and the beef between them and the street niggas, but they never talk about those brothers and sisters that are from rural areas, that grew up in rural areas. And a lot of times, the rural black people get disenfranchised by both sides, the ELs, because the ELs think about it because the way they talk that, that they somehow slow. And then the educated, the niggas that's the street niggas think they slow. Because, we country folk, they call us country bunkers, hillbillies and shit. I got called that a lot. But through it all, we came out on top because the thing is about country motherfuckers like us, we can survive. We can learn, we can adapt to our environment. We adapted to living in an urban environment real quick. But I got a question. How many of you ELs? This for all the EL niggas. This for all the hood niggas that straight dope boys. If you all don't live in a rural area, cause I know there's some dope boys that live in a rural area, they know what I'm talking about. But for all you niggas that live in the cities, like you live in, even in the South, because they'll call people that live in Atlanta and Memphis and shit country, but they not country, they live in an urban environment. A lot of them people never left that Atlanta, they never leave them cities. But I ask any of you ELs this, any of you street niggas this. Can you survive? Do you know how to hunt? Do you know how to fish? Do you know how to survive on the land? Do you know how to grow your own crops, plant your own food, grow your own food? Do you know how to preserve your food? That's something my mom taught me how to do. My dad taught me how to plant, because my dad used to grow corn. And my dad had a few head of Angus cattle that he actually used to slaughter our cattle. We had chickens, we had goats, pigs, had all that shit. And he used to slaughter our own food, so we really never had to go to the only time we went to the grocery stores was get certain things that we didn't have. Other than that, everything we grew. We grew on the farm, we slaughtered our own animals and all that shit. I know how to slaughter a hog, I know how to gut a hog, I know how to gut sheep, I know how to gut cattle, I know how to do all this shit. I know how to fish, I know how to hunt, I know how to ride horses. Can ride a horse like a mother. My dad put me on the goddamn pony. At the age of 4, I learned how to ride a fucking pony a horse at the age of 4 because he put me on a pony. We had a pony named Chip. So I knew how to ride. I knew how to shoot with a rifle and a bow. A compound bow. I know how to hunt with a bow. I could survive. But you know what? It's funny because I'm going to show you how a lot of y'all urban Negroes, when y'all listen to Kevin Samuels talking about it's going to be a cold winter, a lot of y'all thinking if shit go bad that it's going to be okay with y'all. When it's not. A lot of you niggas don't know how to survive shit either. I'm just keep it real with you. A lot of you urban niggas, y'all will be the first ones starving. And see, this is where, even if you have resources then, let's say if you have a financial collapse, say like you have a solar flare, a mega solar flare come, if you know what I'm talking about, is those who are ELs who study astronomy know about a solar flare. It's a large injection of plasma from the surface of the sun, which happens frequently. But say if it just throws off a huge flare and it knocks all the power out, like fuck the whole electrical grid up. How would you urban niggas and you ELs, you hood niggas survive? I'ma tell you, you know what'll happen? You know what'll happen to all them urban niggas in those cities, the dope boys and shit? I'm gonna show you a prime example of what happened. New Orleans happened. When that shit happened, when Hurricane Katrina fucked New Orleans up, what did you see? Pandemonium. You had motherfuckers pulling women off of boats and shit to get on. These your street dope niggas who are the dope boys, the big time dope dealers. See, I did all this shit, but I ain't never pulled no woman out no damn boat. These motherfuckers actually pulling women out of boats to get on the boats. I seen this shit. I was looking at this shit. It was women that they told me this shit. They was actually pulling women out of boats to get on the boats with the key, with, you know, real talk. Then we ain't gonna even talk about the Superdome down in New Orleans. We ain't gonna even talk about how you had women getting raped. You had people committing suicide because they actually thought the end of the world was coming to the end because of Katrina. You actually had niggas believing that shit. And they said it was a death toll of 1 million people in New Orleans. Most of them probably was from suicide. They committed suicide, jumping off bridges. These black people, because they actually thought the end of the world was coming. See, this what happen if the shit go to hell. You'll have people that will actually off themselves, cancel themselves, and Katrina was a prime example of that shit. Of people that that don't know how to adapt to a certain environmental change. See, I'm a country boy. A country boy can survive. I can adapt to that environment, into an urban environment real quick. It's easy. But can you all adapt to a rural environment? I'm gonna tell you like this: a lot of y'all can't. If you tell the sister right now, there's a lot of these sisters that like getting their hair done and nails done, wearing Birkin bags and shit. Let shit fall to shit. And then you need to depend on them women to grow crops and shit. They ain't gonna be out there picking, oh God. They ain't gonna do shit. So at that point, right now, they're a liability. People like that are a liability. And back in ancient times, people like that were kicked out the tribe. They were left out to die because they didn't know how, they didn't have what it takes to survive. So just imagine a lot of the urban population of black people not knowing how to survive. That's why if you ever look at any apocalyptic movie, have you ever noticed there's no black people hardly around? You might see a handful of black people, but you don't see a lot of black people around. And they actually trying to tell y'all something, but y'all niggas ignoring it. It's not, if you look at any other movie like Mad Max, the only black people was around was Tina Turner. You ain't see no black people damn near in that movie. A lot of apocalyptic movies, including The Walking Dead, you ain't had that many black people in those movies. Because you know why? I'm gonna tell you why, and this is what y'all gonna hate to hear. A lot of y'all niggas gonna die if some apocalyptic shit happens. A lot of y'all niggas gonna die because a lot of y'all don't know how to survive. Y'all too, as they say, y'all too adapted to the environment that you live in. You won't be able to adapt to any other environment because you specialize in living in an urban environment. A lot of you black people are specialized in living in an urban environment. And when you are a specialist in the world of nature, when you can adapt to a different environment, a different animals. For instance, prime example of this shit. An African leopard swam out to an island escaping some lions. The lions didn't have the heart to swim across that river, that lake, to escape them because they knew it was big old crocodiles in the water, but that leopard wanted to survive. So what that leopard did, that leopard swam to this little island. In this little island, he didn't have no food, nothing that he could catch like an antelope or an impala or a gazelle or nothing like that. But he noticed when he went to drink water, he noticed how he seen fish, big catfish that would come up and take breaths of air. Because sometimes, to order for certain fish to digest food, they take breaths of air. Now, this leopard noticed that. So what happened is the leopard waited for a fish, a big catfish, to come up. Soon as catfish come up, he snatched it up. So that leopard got so adapted at catching fish that leopard lived on Easy Street at that fucking little island. He lived on Easy Street. He like, shit, I don't got to go nowhere. Shit, I got food. I don't even have to do that much to hunt. Shit, all I do wait for the motherfucker to come to me. So damn leopard literally just wait for a catfish to come up and breathe. He snatched his ass up. That leopard adapted to the environment real quick because he had to. How many black people, female or men, will adapt to an environment if the environment were to change today or tomorrow? How many would adapt? Not too many. That's why I said if you ever looked at all these movies, you notice there's not a lot of black people in these movies for a certain reason. Now the Africans that live in the bush and shit in Africa, they'll survive. They'll be around. But I'm talking about literally the scientific name for black Americans, Afro-American Telecantanus. They will fucking die off. A lot of you niggas would die, except if you was raised in an urban, rural environment. A lot of you all survive, or will survive who know how to hunt and fish. It'll be some that will survive. I ain't saying it wouldn't be none, but most of your urban Negroes, men and women, you can hang that up. When Kevin Samuel talking about it's gonna be a cold winter, y'all niggas up here thinking that, oh, I'm gonna survive, cause you know, if it's a financial collapse, nigga, how you gonna survive? That cold winter gonna affect you too. You know, I just thought I'd put this out there. This video is dubbed Country Boy Can Survive. Over and out.